All right, September 27th, 2025. I'm going to put the title first. I had another nightmare. I would consider it to be a nightmare. Obviously, I'm going to start on the grapes, quote unquote, soon. I've got my sink cleared out, everything, so I'm going to start washing the jars, put them in the oven, yada-de-yada. I'm going to boil the water that I'm going to use for my light syrup because there's something wrong with our water right now. It's coming out smelling like sewage, which tells me there's something going on with the lines. The water itself is probably quote-unquote fine, but for however they do their piping systems, if the sewage lines aren't being flushed properly and you get the backdraft of those gases can filter into the water lines that you drink from. Because in the inner cities in the United States of America, this is new information that I just learned, or wherever they want to bring in gentrification to push out the indigenous people that are living in the neighborhood so that they can move in and start doing whatever people do to take over, as they cause mayhem for the other ones that live there for years and years and years. Or if there's a high concentration of homeless people and they're trying to flush homeless people out of that area, and there's only certain available water taps, right, where these people can get water from. They use the sewage systems to get that god-awful smell coming in with your drinking water. That's what's happening here. And it's been like that for a couple of months. It probably has something to do with all this building and ripping up the ground and everything. Or, who knows, maybe it's for more of an insidious reason to, get tenants to want to pack up and move out. Who knows? All I know is that as things, get done around here, if it doesn't change soon, I'm going to call the city and I'm going to ask them to check the lines, whatever those lines are, because it's not fair, right? Andre's sick. He's got some sort of flu now. And, I'm a little under the weather, but I'm okay. Amari has a cold. Now, the kids came over just not even 4 or 5 days ago, little Leia May and Kyrie, a week ago or something like that. They were here for a long time. And so maybe that's where the cold came from. Andre started it. Amari has the sniffle. So this is the first cold that he's had in months and months and months and months. But then Andre's cold turned into a puking flu. So I'm like, oh, please, Amari, don't start puking. Oh. He's only had the puking flu once, Amari. And he's 8 years old now, in terms of the puking flu, right? Where you have to clean the gut. Andre picked it up for whatever reason, but then Andre likes to leave his dirty damn dishes around and, is just juice containers, or, he gets slushies and, it's just whatever. I mean, it could have came, that's the bacteria, right? So, could have came in with the kids, I don't know. Either or. So, I'm going to boil the water before I make the light syrup to try and boil off. Or it's the water that's making us sick. Making us sick. Because I've had an upset stomach. Right. Somewhat. Haven't been wanting to eat very much. It's a hit and miss. Bowel movements are not normal. Let's just put it that way. Right. So, I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to boil the water because it's not going away. Whatever the problem is with the lines, it's just not, it cleared up for, it seemed like a day, maybe 2, but it's back. So, I don't know. Can you hear it? Just Saturday. It's all day making noise. It's like a war zone. Well, it is a war zone because you'll be pushed out of your house soon enough. Yeah. And there will be thousands and thousands and thousands of people ahead of you looking for affordable housing before you even show up looking for it. Yeah. So, the dream. This is how I'm going to start this video, and then we're going to get into the grapes, because I haven't had a chance to do the grapes. Because, you know, yesterday I got derailed, right? I went looking for, see who's who, and found Gabe, and he ended up helping James, and everybody wanted to come over and start working, but by this time it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon going on 3:30, and I'm like, hell no, you know, it's going to start raining any minute. I don't think so, especially if that's what you guys have been doing already for the last several hours, helping James do whatever James was doing. You know, start fresh today. Come between 11 and 12. And what time is it now? Exactly. It's 1 o'clock. Gabe did come here this morning, and then he said he fell asleep over there. Yada-dee-da. Then he had to go home, and he was going to be back in an hour. And he, like, this, to me, is like emotional vampirism. You know, like they suck your energy out of you, and they distract you from what you need to do, and then, you know, the time ticking and it gets too late. But now if Gabe shows up, he can work on the porch by himself. If anyone shows up, they can work on the porch by themselves. I don't care. I'm going to start these grapes. That's what I'm going to do. As soon as I turn this off, I'm just finishing my coffee. And so yeah, I woke up this morning in that in and out period, right? Thinking about, dreaming about, and I seen color. Not a lot of color, but enough color to what it was, that somebody, we can assume it was a woman, a spiteful one at that, somebody vindictive, plotting and scheming behind my back. That's what's happening here. What woman, I don't know. I mean, there's only certain kind of women that can actually gather up my clothes, and they were on coat hangers, right? So coat hanger, coat hanger, coat hanger with clothes on them. It was a stack like this, maybe, right? So that's quite, you know, quite a few, right, of clothes. And one was something that was inside my closet. It's almost like this person wants me dead. That's how I kind of feel about it, because if you're in my closet, throwing out my clothes, picking through what I have there, and I have a big closet, so they're not throwing everything out. They're just throwing out what they don't want, right? And what they did is they took, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll just say it's 10 articles of clothing that were on the coat hanger, took it up by the garbage can, and then just laid it out like that by the garbage can. And the color of something that I would have inside that closet, for example, that's what stands out. And they just, yeah. So I woke up. And the first thing I said to myself is, here we go again. Yeah, somebody's plotting and scheming behind my back, wishing I'm dead, can't wait to get into my shit for whatever sick reason. Because you'd have to wait until I'm dead. Because if anyone, I'm at the point now, people, if anyone wants to take any more away from me just because they think they can, I'll take them to court. I don't care who it is. I won't. I don't care. I don't care if it's my son and his wife. I don't care if it's fucking social workers. I don't care. Because, you know, I don't got a lot of life left in me as it is. And I'm doing my part. I'm holding down the fort. I have been ever since I moved into this. I wanted to say a lot of negative connotations to it, but I'm going to be grateful that I have a roof over my head at this point. So I've been holding down the fort for the last 15 years, because we're coming into the 15-year mark. I'm going into debt to hold down the fort, okay? I'm doing repairs of things that I shouldn't have to repair so I can hold down the fort. If the shit hit the fan, I could feed my family based on what my son said for at least 3 years. And that's just not Andre, Amari, and me. That's the extended family as well, right? It could be Marcane and Marina, and it could be Tisha showing up with her kids and husband. I'm just saying. Could we stretch it out for a period of 3 years? Well, I suppose we could, as long as other people are scrounging around, bringing home a few things here and a few things there. But at the end of the day, the point is I can do it. And nobody has a right to steal it away from me, or have me throw it out outside, or give it away, or throw it in the garbage, just because it's an inconvenience for them. Because personally, they can just fucking move out. If it's people on the inside of the house trying to destroy the house. Right? You know what I'm saying? Or if it's the social workers. Well, you're going to look real stupid in court telling a woman, right, to get rid of her food. Like, come on. Like, do the math on that. Well, you had too much. Well, who's to say that? How would you know? Right? You didn't pay for it. Right? Just because you want half-bare, empty cupboards doesn't mean the person next to you wants that. Right? Maybe you don't have an extended family like I do. Right? Maybe your priorities are different than mine, but that doesn't mean that my priorities aren't valid. Or if you want to call them values, because my son would call it a value. My values are not your values, Mom. Well, fine, but that doesn't give you a right to trash my life so that you can have more space or more control or whatever it is that you think you might get, as so-and-so is plotting behind my back, wishing me dead, and can't wait to get into my closet and start picking through it and put what she doesn't want out by the garbage. Oh, you'll keep the $1,000 dress that you can sell on freaking Facebook for $500, $600, maybe $700 on the cheap when you could get $1,000 for it. But you're going to throw away the rest of my clothes that you don't like because you can't make enough fucking money on it before you'd actually help me to sell something, right? So that I can live a little longer and have some peace in my life, maybe get caught up with my bills, being that I'm the one that pays for everything around here for the most part. Like, come on, people. So now I'm worried about my clothes. Worried about my food. Worried about my clothes. Worried about my life. Yeah. Like I said, they treat me like I'm the walking dead. They wish me dead. That's why they make it so hard. Right? That's why they scatter everything around and then say, oh, look what you did. No, I didn't do that. You did that. Some of that shit that you're looking at belongs downstairs. This is my house. Right? You know what I'm saying? Why do I have to put clothes that don't fit Amari? I will just use that as an example. As Andre's outgrowing them. Why do I have to put them outside for storage when I can put them downstairs for storage? Why do I have to have the VCRs up here when they sat downstairs for years and years and years and years and years? And even when I packed them up, I put them out of sight, out of mind, and that still wasn't good enough. And they still ended up outside 3 times. And now they are where they are, and people still aren't happy. Like, fuck off. Seriously. And now you're going for my inside my closet, which tells me you want me dead. You can't fucking wait. So what how are you going to hurt me now? Is that it? Are you going to hurt me? How are you going to hurt me now? So that you can get into my closet. Disrespect me as I'm in a coffin. Oh, forget the coffin. My body will be snatched and it will disappear, and they'll give you a little urn with dog ashes in it, and they'll lie up on your face like a Tamika Johnson does. Yeah. Because you know they're going to take the body and make a skin suit out of it. I got beautiful skin, people. I got baby skin. Self-regenerating baby skin. Soft. Soft like a baby after all these years. And I've lost my hair, which makes it even softer. I'm surprised I still have eyebrows. I hardly have any hair underneath my armpit. Like, I don't need to shave. There's nothing there. I'm just saying. My legs are bare. I have no hair on my legs. Absolutely none. Very little. Very little. Good luck finding it. I don't need to shave. That's what stress does. I'm just saying. Yada-dee-yada-dee-ya. I lose this all the time. Ever since I moved into this house, half a head of hair is gone. It's fine, but still, it's gone because of this yard and the stress. So anyway, yeah, they took my clothes that came from my closet because I seen the colors. Something from my closet. So they got into my closet. They went behind my back. I wasn't around. I was just standing there looking. Yeah. So it was like I was dead. And I was just, you know, how you floating around, you could see, right? And they did it out of disrespect. They did it with malice. They did it with malice to humiliate the memory of me. That's what they did it for, was to humiliate the memory of me as they proceeded to rob me. Because obviously I couldn't protect what they threw by the garbage can, right? So that just tells you and weren't around, is you're gone. Is just that's what they're waiting for. Yeah, that's what they're waiting for. So what are they going to do to help speed that up? Because you know they're not going to be satisfied to wait. Hell no. Not people like that. Nope, not people like that. Okay, so now that I got that off my chest, we'll just see how that dream manifests itself. If I die, well, you already know what's going to happen to my clothes. Not all of them, just some of them. A little batch here, a little batch there. Make sure you put it by the garbage can to humiliate the memory of me. Yeah, so that whoever is going to do it can elevate themselves and feel superior and in control of their puny little life that at one point in the future is going to come to a screeching halt. Yeah. Come to a screeching freaking halt. And what comes around goes around. And that's why the world is going into a handbasket. You know how they say that? Going into a handbasket. It's just one big pile of nothing. Yeah. Okay, so grapes. I'm going to do grapes. I'm going to try and get these grapes done by tonight. It's going to, the biggest part is standing at the sink, picking them off the vines. And by that time, because my hip is getting sore, because I've been bending, lifting, moving, pulling, right, dragging, you know, whatever, you know. I've been keeping a really good, steady pace. So, that's what I mean. They want you dead. These ones that put you on the freaking run. Yeah. Just because. Whatever their agenda is, because there's always an agenda. Just remember that. They usually get something from it. Whether it's a bonus, whether it's a kickback, whether it's stuff that they keep for themselves or they give to somebody else or they sell it, whether it's just a sense of empowerment, you know. You have the right to treat somebody like some second-class citizen. There's a lot of young women that go over at James' place, that would love to have some of this stuff that I have. Oh yeah, really nice stuff I got. Of course, not that stuff showed up in the garbage can. Right. But whatever was on those coat hangers were nice. I don't hang up my raggedy tag work clothes that I wear every day for one reason or another. So whatever it was still nice, but it wasn't worth $1,000. They're going through the closet looking for stuff like this. They're not throwing this out, but they're throwing out something else to humiliate me as they rob me versus actually help me. Yeah. That's an emotional vampirism. Okay, so talk about time management here. I haven't started the grapes yet. I'm going to start washing jars here. I'm going to put them in the oven at 250 and get them going, and then boil some water just to try and boil off that god-awful smell that's coming in with it. And because it's a smell, it's not so much the taste as it is the smell, because it's two lines not being, one line is not being flushed out properly. That's what I'm gonna peg it on in terms of the problem, right? You know, and I have an appointment coming up with my eyes to see how many octave nerves I have left. It was 2% vision, we'll say, I don't know what, 3 years ago when I went and seen that eye specialist. Right now it's feeling kind of goopy. But it was 2% vision left in this one. So that's 98% of the octave nerves gone. Cannot ever return. It was 13% in this one. But he changed the lens of the cataract and he screwed my eye over as far as I'm concerned, because everything after that just went real blurry. And anyway, I suspect that this is probably 1 or 2%, because I can somewhat see something depending on where it is. You know, obviously your brain works overtime, right? Like right in front of me, down, like up there, I can't see my fingers, but if I bring it down here, I can kind of, if I move them around, my mind tells me there's 2 fingers there, but I don't see them as clear as I'd like. Well, you know, yeah, and then there, you see, whatever focus I had disappeared. Now I don't even see them, because the eyes are changing as I'm trying to focus, and then they just this one, I mean, I can see still in front of me. This is the only one that gets me through. With the backdrop, I can tell. Can't really tell over here. I know there's something up there. I see them down there, right? So maybe 10%. I'd be lucky if it was still 13, but I don't think so. And if it is, then it's the lens that's screwing me over. But everything's getting more gray with things blending together. So in the meantime, I'm trying to do some time management here. I honestly, if the social workers wouldn't have showed up, I would have done the chicken claws, the chicken thighs, and the fish that I had already bought, and that stuff would have been canned, okay? So I'm behind in the game when it comes to that stuff, and the reason I was doing that was for that collagen for Amari. All right, so I can't lose sight of that, and I don't want to be, quote-unquote, canning per se, outside of maybe something that, like those canned fruit downstairs. You know, maybe I'll just, to hell with it. I'll go buy myself a bunch of, 1 liter size jars if I don't have them kicking around. And I'll open up all the cans and I'll recan just so that you get them out of the tins. Outside of that, I don't want to be, I mean, it would have to be a really good deal on beef before I'd can it, right? Like at $5.99 a pound. Oh, you gotta buy, or that brisket. If that brisket came in again, cheap, I think it was like $3.99 a pound or $2.99 a pound, I'd do it, no problem. But if it's at $7.99 a pound on sale, or even $6.99 a pound on sale, no, I don't need it right now, right? I don't need pork. I don't want to can pork. Technically, I don't want to can chicken. I'm not really into canning turkey, although if I get the free turkey, I'll cut it in half. I'll debone everything. I'll give my son a whole bunch of whatever, and he can cook it up however they want. They just won't have bones, because I'm going to take those bones, I'm going to put them in the pot with the chicken claws and a few pieces of chicken thighs, right, or whatever, or turkey or whatever, it doesn't matter, because the chicken thighs are probably all stuck together, so I don't know how I'd get that apart. But besides that point, And I do that deep, rich collagen broth. That's what I want. And then fish. I'll do the fish at the same time. So I'm looking at fish. That's why I turned on this camera. Because, you know, you need the fish skin. The fish skin and the fish bones. So I thought you know, I don't particularly like pink salmon, but I will buy one for the skin. It's only $8, right? But it's frozen. And I'd probably let it unthaw in this situation, right? And I don't know how to fillet and all that crap, but it wouldn't matter anyway, because I'll just cut off the skin, throw that into the pot with whatever else I've got for that reason, and I'd scrape off the meat off the bones, being that I'll try and cut off as much as I can without, you know, damaging the bones. And if I have to, I'll even go as far as scrape it off. So I have just a Mod Podge of pink salmon raw. And because it was frozen, I'd have to cook it up and eat it right away. Or I could cook it up after it's cooked. Then I can put them into little freezer bags. And I can freeze them like that and use them as I go about my days with maybe a Mari or whatever, or maybe make a potato patty with that or something. But I'd have to cook it first. The point is I want the bones from the fish, from the pink. For $8, it's worth it to me. I want the skin and the bones, which will leave me the flesh, which I'll probably fry in butter, salt it, whatever, eat some of it, and what doesn't get eaten can go into small packages, and I can use it in between whatever I'm doing. And then I'm looking at, I wanted pink sockeye salmon. I would have bought a sockeye salmon, eh? They don't have any more left. You see how it all disappeared? It was $7 a pound. They don't have no frozen sockeye salmon, and they don't have no fresh sockeye salmon. So when these things come in, that's when you kind of want to, you know, I did, right? I experimented with putting sockeye with pink, which I don't know about that, but anyway, it's okay. You know, and you know, like, you have to buy it when it's the season kind of thing. So for whatever reason, there is no sockeye, but they have Pacific wild coho salmon, whole dressed. I don't know what dressed means. I don't know. Maybe that's been descaled. They cut off the head nice. I can see. I don't think they put no stuffing inside. It's coming in at $7.99 a pound. $7.99 a pound. I'm assuming that it's fresh because it doesn't say frozen, right? So in that situation, I'd take off the skin, right? Try and fillet off a piece of meat, flesh, fish flesh, and if I can't, I'll scrape it off with a freaking knife. So I have my little Mod Podge or whatever, and because it hopefully won't be frozen, in that situation, I can put them in little bags, and I can freeze them that way. Uncooked. And that's coho. But it's coming in at $7.99 a pound. Yeah. Where the sockeye, when I bought it, was $7 a pound. Now, I'm looking at the nutrients, because I'm trying to convince myself to do this and get it over with so I don't have to can in the wintertime, quote unquote, because I don't want to any more than I have to. And, you know, I want this fish collagen for a Murray. I want this chicken claw, whatever other bones in there when it comes to a bird, collagen for a Murray. I want that, right? And I don't want to wait 2 months, a month from now. I want to have it handy now, like do it now, get it over with. And then, you know, I'm going to, yeah. So I'm looking at the ingredients in terms of the, you know, the nutritional, the nutritional composition with a whole coho salmon. Okay? This is what you get in it. Calcium 2%, and this is your daily whatever, right? For 113 grams, you're looking at 180 calories. Iron, 2%. No vitamin A. Vitamin C, 2%. thiam, 8%. Riboflavin, 8%. Vitamin B6, 40%. Vitamin B12, 150%. Right? And then we got some panthen something, I don't know, 20%. Phosphorus, 30%. Magnesium, 15%. Zinc, 6%. Selenium, 30%. So that's good. I'd buy it for that. It's just, I have to budget in my time. This is where I sometimes, but if I buy the turkey will be going frozen into my fridge, which within 2 to 3 days, I can deal with it then. Right? Now when it comes to pink salmon, just straight up plain old pink salmon, your nutrients are calcium, 2%, iron, 6%, no vitamin C, no vitamin A, thiam, 15%, riboflavin, 8%, vitamin B6, 45%, and then the vitamin B12 is 180%, so they got it higher than the coho, right? That pantothenate is 15%. Phosphorus is 80%. So for whatever reason, it seems to have a higher nutritional value. Magnesium, 15%. Zinc, 8%. And selenium, 100%. So I'd get those two fish. I have to choose. I gotta make my decision now. If I'm going to do this or not. Because if I don't do it, I'll put it off for another week or 2 or 3. And that's too long. What was the point of buying those chicken claws and shit and the fish that I bought? I don't want it sitting around, right? I just want to get on with it and be done with it. So that will be more than enough to make a really, really good fish collagen. And I'd put them in 200 and size 50 size mil jam size jars, not the salmon jars, but the 250 jam size jars, mil. That's what I'm gonna. And I have a case of that. So for the fish, right? Because you don't want to, when you put all that into a pot, you don't have a whole lot of water. You just have a little bit of water over everything. And you stew it for a little while. Not too long. You don't have to do it too long because the bones apparently start to deteriorate quite quickly when it comes to the calcium stuff. But I'm going to double check on that. So this shop here, in order to get the free turkey, which we know what I'm going to do with that, all right, it'll take me a week to get everything done. Right? On top of anything else I might do in a day. Something's low on stock. Cat food. Doesn't matter what kind of freaking cat food I keep picking, it's all low on stock. Oh, joy. And then they've got these little bird feeders. This is what I thought. Now that we're working in the yard and yada-de-yada, I know the birds are hungry. Or technically, I should be feeding the hummingbirds, but I couldn't open that back door, right? I don't like opening it any more than I have to. But Andre put some WD-40, so it slides a little better, but still. Either or, there's a couple of little feeders I just thought, right? You know, I'll pick them up and, you know, to just, you know, for that mental therapy, right? To boost the morale of the people around me, not including myself and maybe my family, by feeding the birds, right? Because I used to feed the birds all the time. So I got 2 of those, but they're saying they're low in stock, so I might not be able to get them. Anyway, there's 2 jugs of milk, right? That's $12. Adds up real fast. You know what I'm saying? 33% whipping cream, another $6.50. Cottage cheese, that's $7, okay? And then we got a few tomatoes, blah, blah. And then we've got the glazed donuts. I took away the spinach and stuff because I got some still there I'm going to look at in a minute. We got the 1 yellow zucchini. And then we've got the 2 cartons of eggs. Oh, Jesus. Right. Two containers of yogurt, which is like 13 bucks. Oh, joy. I know I have to make yogurt, but I don't have time. I have the little things and everything. The recipe and the thermostat. I just don't have time. 1 lettuce, $2.50. I need to, though. Ginger, 50 cents. We've got the salsa for $9. We've got the natural and perfect zucchinis for $5. We got the 1 bag of potatoes, russet potatoes, for $9. That's a 20-pound bag. And then the wild bird seed mix is $31, but it's 16 kg. And if I bought them at 8 kg per bag, it would cost me $36. And I have a big yard with a lot of birds in it. They're hungry. Right? So I saved $5. So I'm thinking just to cut to the chase and get that. And then there's different kinds of birds, songbirds and cardinals, which we do get cardinals out here, right? They got these little bell things that you can hang, and they're on sale right now for $5.49. You can go get as many as 5, otherwise they're $6.50. So I thought I'd scoop up on 5 so I can feed them as well. And then another 20-pound bag of naturally imperfect red potatoes. And I thought I'd break the 2 bags up half and half and send 1 bag downstairs so that my son can have potatoes, even though he kind of annoyed me today. But besides that point. And then we've got the maple, the pure maple sugar, maple syrup at 500 ml, which if you buy 1, you're supposed to get 5,000 points, which would be $5 back. So versus paying $13 per maple, right, in glass, which is good for storage, you're only paying $8. So that's why I'm picking up at least 4, because I think you're only allowed 4, either or. Yeah, and it's coming in at 52, but I should be able to get back 20 bucks. So I'm only paying 32 for it, right? So to build up those PC points, because, 1 rye bread, 2 rye bread for $9, because we go through a lot of that. Andre likes it. Whole wheat bread, 2 for $5 because it's on sale. 1 thing of Tang for not $13, a big thing, right? Organic carrots, 2-pound bags. They don't have no 5-pound bags of carrots. They haven't had them for months and months and months and months and months. Everything is 2 pounds. These ones are on sale right now at $4 per bag, but they're organic, quote unquote, right? Versus $4.50 a bag. They're on $4. So for another $2 more, I might as well go with the organic. And I got the carrots. That'll be $8. And then of course we've got the Pacific coho salmon, right, at $23, and we know what we're going to do with that. And we've got the pink whole wild pink salmon, frozen, which is fine, I can deal with that, for $8. Oh yes, and the kids are kind of sick in the house, right, and so I'm getting some ginger ale, and they're probably those dinky little teeny weeny cans, which is a waste of money, but it's really, really hard to find ginger ale these days. Have you noticed that? That's at $14. And because it's hard to find, it's hard to find, what is that called? Ginger ale in a 2-liter bottle or any kind of bottle, and then a normal size pop can, like a normal size, it's really hard to find it. Or at least where I shop. Walmart doesn't carry them. And they just carry those little teeny ones. And yeah, and obviously Canadian Superstore. So anyway, this is a Mountain Dew for $1.99, regular $2.99. So I'm actually going to get 2 of them because I'm thinking, well, if you don't have ginger ale, well, at least you'll have Mountain Dew. I don't know if that's good for colds, for the electrolytes, right? Well, it won't let me take. Why can't I take one? I'm trying to add one more. There we go. Okay, I'll get 2. No, it's not allowing me to. It's just, oh my God. Okay, either or. My estimated total is $379. So that's $380 that I don't want to spend. I don't know if I got kicked out or what. Well, maybe I changed the screen size again. Here we go. I don't know what the heck is going on. Anyway, 355, and then, you know, you've got taxes, right? There's going to be taxes in there. That's why it jumps up. I don't have to pay for delivery because I have that service. So if I proceed to check out, $379 with estimated taxes, $5 tip. Yeah, $380. And it puts me into a, I guess you could say, a power can. But it'll probably be my last power can for a while, outside of fruit in a can. Just to get them out of the cans, so I don't lose my money on them. And that I can just dicker with over the winter and actually use that as a beginning stages of teaching Andre how to can, being that I never really got a chance to do it this year. And then I'm pretty sure I can make some really nice rich collagen, whether it's fish collagen or chicken claw collagen that's been enhanced with turkey bones and maybe a few pieces of chicken thighs, just to make it that much more richer. But I'm having nightmares. This is where people take advantage of me. Yeah. Because they don't think about chicken collagen and fish collagen. And they don't even really care about, oh my God, why can't I, they don't even really care about what they pay for food per se. Because they just have more money than me, right? So they just, oh well, right? They're not thinking to stretch it out. Why is it that I can't, I should be able to do something here. Driver tip. Select a time. Okay, so I have to come back with these grapes. Okay. My bill was $399 because of cat food. There's a shortage on cat food. I had such a hard time getting cat food. So I had to go for the bag for $36. Yeah. Because I need cat food, right? Whether it's better cat food or not, I don't know. I just know that every 8 kg bag of cat food I tried to buy, I couldn't get it. So this one's 9.1 kg for $35. So I'm paying an extra, whatever. I don't care. Just give me some cat food. That's all I care about right now. I don't know if I got jars. No, I didn't get jars. I'll just work with the jars I got right now. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting ready for these grapes. Oh, I want to can these grapes. I'm going to work on it today. I'm going to do until I can't do no more, people. Yeah, and then the way things are going, just the way people's attitudes are, and just the way they've been mistreating me, and and destroying my stuff, and taking advantage of the situation, making me spend money to either replace things like wood or food, whatever it is, doesn't matter. I just, you don't want to wish yourself out of the picture anytime sooner than you have to go, I suppose, right? Okay, so we're going to wash these, get them in the oven, and I'm going to boil the water, definitely. I'm going to do that, and as the water is boiling, I am going to, yeah, things have definitely gotten darker. I don't like it, what that means, now mind you, everybody has said there's something wrong with this lens, right? Tisha sees a little white nano square in the center of my pupil, where Marcaine sees the center of my pupil clouded over. So if it's clouded over because there's something wrong with the lens, that would make sense in terms of how I see things, right? And Andre's seen the square too, but the more I think about it, I'm just wondering if maybe it was a reflection from the window at the time when Tisha was looking in my eyes. I'm more apt to agree with Marcaine that it's clouded over. Yeah, because the eye doctor, when he looks in my eyes, he tells me I have moon bumps on this lens, to which could alter your focus. So, but food is expensive. It's hard to come across real organic food that hasn't been sprayed with some preservative, as they advertise it to be organic. Huh, right? Because they're spraying everything these days. And I just really want that collagen for Amari, so I did it. Plus I need some kind of ginger ale in the house. Right? And I need the milk. I need the whipping cream. I need the yogurt. I'm just hoping that Amari doesn't start puking. Normally when Andre gets that way, Amari, well, he doesn't get it. That one time he got it from the kids. Whether he got it from Alea May and Kyrie, and Andre got it, and then he got it from Andre. Well, that's usually how it comes. That's the way it goes. So I'm just like, all I need is a seizure because of it. Puking can bring seizures. I think it's the fear of it, in terms of the puking with the panic. I think that would be a trigger for a secret panic. Yeah. So I'm not really feeding him right now. He had a Pediasure, but he's going to need something here again pretty soon. Alright. But I don't know if I want to start pumping a bunch of food inside of him to have it upchuck at any moment. So there's that hardest deal. Boy, oh boy. It just gets better and better. So guess who showed up? That Gabe dude. He showed up with some woman. Okay, whatever. $15 an hour. Goes out on the porch. Yada yada. Explain what I want done. She sounds like she knows that she's, you know, she understands what I'm saying. But he got, again, bossy. Right? Snippy with me. And don't micromanage me. Because I'm telling him, like, you know, because he started doing the opposite of what I wanted him to do. He just started throwing things over the frickin' balcony onto the ground. Okay. I don't think so. You don't even know what you're throwing over the fucking edge here. Like, stop. That's not what I said to do. Alright, so he gets a little path. He makes it sound like he accomplished this great grand mission. As if. Okay? And I open up the X Club. Clearly it's, you know, something's moved around in there a little bit, whatever. It's been rained on, whatever. It's all piled in there, whatever. You know, and I told him, you just take and you put into piles. That's it. And I'm going to cover it up with a tarp so that we can get on that shelf and start taking what's on the inside. Hopefully it won't be too damaged. Oh, yeah, and he's just grabbing and throwing it out. Just throw it. And he's giving it the wood, what little wood I have, right, people, for the X Club. And he wants her to throw it over the fucking edge on that side or that side. And I'm like, no, you can't be doing that. Well, you know, we just need to know what we have. And no, that is for there. That's because I was going to work on it. So I know where it can piece in. Right? But, you know, and he just, you know, it's just like, fuck. I said, look, I don't need you in here trashing my shit. My shit's already been trashed enough by my grumpy son. You know, I've been putting up with this trashing shit of my stuff for 4 years, and you coming in and now you're trashing my shit. I don't care if it's fucking whatever you think it is. Like, go away. Like, I didn't say go away. Well, and he come in here and he grabs his shit and he's storming around. You know, all right? I told him, I said, just keep that, you know, forget about that $20. Don't let it hit you in the ass, right? Well, I'll give it back to you now. As if he had it. He didn't fucking have it. He didn't fucking have it. I don't even think he's a family man. You know, lying to me. He come in and said, this is my girlfriend. I said, oh, so kids, right? Oh, no, yeah, right. And I said, well, whatever. That's between you and her. Like, that's not what you've been telling me every time you always talk about your kids, right? Like, fuck, I don't think he's a good dad. He wanted me to go get beer. I said, no, you're not coming here to drink. You're working. Fuck. Go away. So I'm back to square one. Right? But I'm working on and then my son phoned, well, is everything okay up there? I said, the guy quit and I fired him. He'll say, I quit. I say, I fired you. Oh. So, was going to make them coffee because he's bossing me around. I'll have the coffee. Oh yeah, I got to turn on the oven. I'm going to can these grapes. I'm not going to worry about that. No. And he probably just would have made a big mess. What the hell? Oh, start. He probably just would have made a huge mess, worked for an hour and a bit. Oh, well, I gotta go. I'll take my money now. I would have paid out $30, $15 each for an hour, with a big fucking mess all over the place. Over the edge. Over the edge. And he was just throwing it out. And I'm like, stop. Like, and he would have ran off and left it. And then I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will come, and he won't show up because that's his pattern. The problem is with him. So yeah, don't come back. It's okay. And don't call me honey either. I told him, don't fucking call me honey. Honey, oh, honey. No, I'm not your honey. I'm your boss. When you're working for me. Other than that, get out of here. Like I said, he rubbed me the wrong way. And he sure rubbed me the wrong way today. Yeah. I have to, and I did, I ordered, so now I got that. I offered my son half the turkey, deboned. Oh no, no, I want the whole turkey. I'll just cook the whole turkey. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, that's not what I bought it for. I don't know, I'll have to think about that. Alright, I want to make that bone broth, that collagen. It's not even bone broth. I want to make the collagen for Amari. But you need bones for it too, right? That's why you go with the chicken claws. Because they got those little bones and the tendons, and I just wanted to make it richer. So I guess I'll be canning turkey too. Whatever, I don't care. Now I could be a little shit disturber, and I could go next door and see if there's somebody there that wants to continue working now, since the process has started. But I'm afraid that guy will be over there, because you know he beelined over to James' house. Yeah, whatever. Guess I got it now.
How long does the flu stay for?
Well, as long as you don't feed it. It's a puking flu. It's a bacteria. It's not really a flu. If you feed it, you have to clear your gut out over a period of 24 hours, a whole day. Nothing more than little sips. If you want to grab a cracker in a few hours from now and nibble on a couple of dry crackers just to take the ease out of your stomach, you can do that. But if you drink too much liquid and start eating food, you'll just puke it right back up. Okay? If you want it for 48 hours, eat. If you want it for 48 hours, drink a whole bunch of whatever, and it's all going to come right back up. If you want it to go away in 48 hours, then you basically have to starve it. Clean out your gut. Yeah. So I guess I'll save that for later. Got milk cream in it. I'll put it in the fridge. Everybody's so hostile these days. Hostile and overly aggressive. and expect so much as they give back so little. That's what I'm finding in terms of where I guess you could say humanity is at. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Way too fucking hostile, expect way too much for giving way too little back. Yeah. He just would have tossed everything around, left a big fucking mess, picked a fight and ran out and expected me to pay him, even though he owed me money. And then he'd tell me he'd come back, and he wouldn't, because he's an emotional vampire. Yeah, that's what he is. It took you 5 days to come back. On the first day I met you, you wanted to work that day. You said, yeah, let's go now. I said, now, are you sure? He goes, yeah. I brought him here, and all of a sudden he bailed fucking ship because he didn't want to pull Morning Glory. Well, that's why you came over, was to pull Morning Glory. And when it was up in your face, ready to do it, you bailed freaking ship, right? And it was other people that came and did it for you. And now that you can do other things, you're still complaining. Get out of here. Anyway, it's nothing I can't fix on my own. I'm going to do what's important right now, and the grapes are important. I'm up for it. I haven't even started washing them yet. But once I start, it will go fast. It'll be better than those blueberries. No bigger than a freaking sequence, right? Oh my God. That was rough. These I'll have done in a couple of hours, ready to go. The water will be boiled, the jars will be done. And when I get the canner out, and by the end of the night, I'll have, I don't know, quite a few jars. And I'm looking forward to it, actually. I bought the turkey for a reason, and I'm going to use it for what I want it for. If my son doesn't want to have whatever, because whatever, well, then so be it. I'll can the rest of it. I got enough jars. I could can them in quart-sized jars. That'd be 4 to 5 quart-sized jars full of nothing but straight-up turkey, which would be really, really nice, so I'm not sweating it. Okay, so no poking the bear. Not going to go over to James. See, well, honestly, I should go next door to see if somebody wants to continue doing, now that we're there. What time is it? 3 o'clock. I don't know. Okay, so I go over there because, the door was open at the X Club, right? Nobody's around. But Gabe was in there. At first, I couldn't even tell it was him. I'm like, who is that? He didn't tell me. Is that you, Gabe? He goes, yeah. It was just one other dude there, right? I said, he started, and I'm like, He goes, blah, blah, blah. I said, you're an emotional vampire. I said, I don't care. I'm done with you. That's it. Oh, but my water bottle's at your house. I said, so what? You want your water bottle? Yeah, I do. I said, well, okay, as if I want your water bottle. Like, sure. And he said, yappity yap yap, all the way. And I'm like, whatever. Oh, well, and I'm like, just, whatever. I don't got time for it. That's what I told him. You don't tell people what's important to them and what's not important to them. I'm not spending no more money than I have to. I'm not completely blind yet. And what I wanted him to decide what was quote-unquote garbage was that what was pushed away from the house that's been rained on. And then ask him to start throwing things over the fucking rail. That rail, and that rail. 3 rails. He was throwing things over, wanting to throw things over 3 rails. I don't think so. It's not what I asked you to do. Ooh. I said, what? He still wants to work. Oh, as if. I said, I don't know. Just don't talk to me right now. Leave me alone. Stay away from me. You're an emotional vampire. Oh, time out. Yeah. Call it disengage. I'm going to focus on these grapes. Got my counter. I got my jars in the oven. All I have to do is empty out the sink and just start doing. It's the grapes that are I got spinach there that I need to do, but I can do that after I'm boiling my jars with the food inside. So let me go get one big bowl of grapes. Hold on. Okay, so now I'm hoarding grapes. This dude says, "Oh, you're worse than James. You're a hoarder." I'm like, "Hoarder? I don't think so." He goes, "What are you, a doomsday prepper?" Because right? I said, I do food prep. Because he sees the jars and everything, right? The buckets. And I'm a food prepper. I've been doing it for a long time. "Oh, well, doomsday prepper." I said, "No, just a prepper." I don't have that kind of money to be a doomsday prepper. If I had $100,000 to have my little warehouse with all my food prep and water preps, and if I could afford that, I probably would have went to that extreme. But I can't afford that, so and I told him, he's starting to rag on me, right? Because he's that emotional vampire. I said, "Listen, you don't know what I've been going through for the last 4 years with my son, trucking out my shit from downstairs. Some of this stuff that you see around here belongs downstairs. It was thrown out. And I've either, I've tried to salvage what I could. Not everything made it. A lot of stuff disappeared, whatever. And what little I have left is my business, especially if I'm willing to start giving you shit. And I already offered him things." Yeah. And he was still just being a butthead. I love my grapes. Okay, so I'm pushing myself on this. Is that just normal or? Yeah, it's normal. I don't want to do it. I'm tired. But I'm going to finish it. It's going on 9 o'clock now at night. And I'm ready to do the first load. I'm only doing 8 and 8 is 16 jars. I'm hoping I have just enough for 16 jars. That's pint size, right? And these are not store-bought grapes, so they're not very big. I am going to raw pack it. And the jars just came out of the oven, so they're kind of hot. Because, for like a store-bought, they're all nice and clean and everything. So for a store-bought grape that are bigger and got thicker skins and yada-yada, maybe I would blanch them to break the skins so that apparently they don't pop in the jar. But, oh wait, how did I do that? Sure, I'm just going to can stock. But these are so tiny for the most part. And when I pull them off the stems, right, they have a bit of a break in them. Now, I'm going to do a light syrup, not an extra light, because these ones are a little, what is it called? Some are sweeter, some are more sour, right? So it's just a mix-up of whatever. So I'm going to do a light syrup because apparently the more sugar you put in the syrup, you candy your grapes. And I don't want candied grapes. Now these could be used as a starter for a homemade juice, right? I mean, you could use these for a lot of different things. Okay, and then I'm heating up the syrup right now, which is a light syrup, with just a tad bit extra sugar because I added an extra cup. Instead of 5.5 cups water, I'd put 6 cups water, and then instead of a oh my god, I hope I should taste that, honestly, you know. I'm getting so tired right now that, and I'm annoyed. I'm not working with that Gabe guy anymore. I've worked with guys like him before. I've had people like that come to my yard in the past. They just start scattering things around, breaking this, breaking that, being whatever, insulting you or whatever, because, you know, want you to start doing this, doing that, and next thing you know, it's just one big mess as they destroy your shit because they don't value what you have, right? It was junk. That's what he said. Half of what you got is junk, because he was tossing it around. I'm like, hold on a minute, slow down. Like, what the hell are you doing here, right? As he's asking that woman to throw it over the rail, for all 3 rails. Like, who does that? Like, get the hell out of here, right? Like, you know, and then you want to insult me yet? And then say that I'm like James, right? I don't know if he was saying James was worse than me, or I'm worse than James. Well, first of all, James puts up with your ass, man. You know, he opens up his house to you. Like, why are you putting him down? Like, that's bullshit, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you're, you know, he. I guess they collect things, they buy things from different places, enough to fill up a, what is it called? A shipping container, right? Well, this is going to be way more than 16 jars. And then they ship it to West Africa through a shipping container. And they get paid, James and whoever else he's working with, right? To collect the stuff here in Canada, gather it all up, and then eventually when they have enough to fill up a shipping container, I guess they take it to the port, they fill up the shipping container, and then it gets shipped off to West Africa. And the person who's buying all that resells it. So whatever you got to say about James hoarding shit, you know, it's, you could say it's like a little business. You know, it's not that he's hoarding, and besides, you know, he puts up with people like you that are like takers, like not givers, but takers. Like, you know, like, why the hell you go around somebody that you don't like, or you want to just say stupid shit like that? So fuck you, right? I don't got very much left. That's just greenhouse, garden, miscellaneous, whatever, you know. Few little things left over, like nothing hardly in there, and what is in there might just end up getting thrown out yet because of being ruined by the porch, and you want to ruin more and insult me while you do it because you want to be the boss. As you call me hun, and I don't want you to call me honey. Like, go away. So anyway, I don't care. He thinks he's going to come back maybe and work, but I don't care. I'll do it myself. Yeah. If nobody wants to help, that's fine. No problem. I will do what I can do. But before I do that, well, I'm going to have to go clean up the mess that he threw over the one rail. It's just tossing it off, not even looking. No. I've had guys like you that come and do that kind of, done that kind of stupid shit. And then, you know, it just makes more work, costs more money, right? They end up ruining your shit. I had one guy come do gutters. I just simply wanted that gutter. That next thing you know, he was pulling down everything, right? Had me running off buying freaking pipes, and then didn't have the right connectors, so I bought whatever, and he was still crabbing on about something and moving things around and just tossing them around. Finally, I just said, "Get that," because he wasn't doing the job. He was just making a mess from place to place as he was destroying things, right? I said, you know, just get lost. I lost a whole bunch of money there because I also paid him for his time at one point, right? And gutters never got done. You know, not that it was my responsibility, but sometimes those things are just, you know. And then when the city of Surrey came, They took all my pipes. The pipes that I paid for. They took them all. Like, people are so rude. There are more takers in the world than there are givers. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't got time for it. But I'm keeping that turkey. My son doesn't want, maybe I'll make turkey, deli meat. Yeah. I have it. The stuff. The book is over there. I could even add nitrates to it if I wanted to. I could make two containers full, and I could freeze them after they've been cooked if I want, or I could give one to my son. He goes, what's that? That's turkey deli meat. You don't want it? Give it back. Andre and I will eat it. I want the bones. I want to make that rich collagen for Amari. So that's what I'm going to work on. This is where I can't see. Now, because I'm putting in boiling water, these grapes are going to cook a little bit and they're going to sink down. So, I don't want to blanch these ones. They're too small and they're too fragile. If they were store-bought, do you know you can buy store-bought grapes now? Those big green ones. And you can put them in your fridge and they don't even rot. You can leave them out on the counter, like out and about, and weeks will go by and they won't even rot. That tells you there's something wrong with them. They'll shrivel up. Okay? They'll shrivel up. Right? Or they'll mold up. They won't rot. They're going to either mold, but grapes, they usually just shrivel up. You know, I've had grapes sitting there on the floor from the grocery store for, you know, however long, right? A week or two, and I'm looking at them, and I don't want to eat them. They're all shriveled up. Because they're spraying that crap on it now that came from Bill Gates. That's what it is, people. On everything. And, you know, I buy papaya. It molds before it ripens. Right? It's just, so yeah, no, this I'm gonna keep. I like this idea. Only I can't see. So, because I'm using really, really hot water, it's gonna start cooking the grapes as it's in the jar, which means that the grapes should drop a little bit. Really, what I need to do is just be a little patient here and give it 10 minutes. And it will, they're already starting to drop because you want a 1-inch headspace. And of course I can't see because it's so hard. But, okay, so as long as we've got enough, so we're going to let them drop for a while. This is how I'm going to do the raw pack. I'm kind of cooking the grapes with the boiling water. Well, it's the syrup. I didn't blanch them because they're too small and they're too fragile. I don't know if I would go as far as to can grocery store bought grapes. I suppose if I had no choice, then yeah, maybe I would do it if I wanted them bad enough. But, you know, no, I'd do this though. So I'm doing this. And then because I'm having such a hard time with the yard in general right now, for whatever reason, I ain't gonna sweat it. I'll just go clean up the mess that dude made. I'll wash down the porch. And tomorrow I get the turkey, which goes in the fridge. That buys me 2 days, right, as it's unthawing. And I'm going to work with the fish. I'm going to work with the coho and the pink salmon. Like I said in this video, I'm going to do that. And then once I've got the skin and the bones, that's when I get the other fish and I put it in a pot. And I'm going to I don't know, stew it for a little while anyway, anywhere between 45 minutes and maybe 3 or 4 hours. I'll play it by ear. And then I'm going to can it, and that's a 110-minute can. Well, it's just stock, so a 100-minute can. And I'll probably do them in 200 size 50 mil to start with, because it's basically just for that deep, rich fish collagen for amari. That's what I want to do. I'm putting him first. I got derailed from it. I paid $100 for what I got right now, and I'm topping it off with the coho and the salmon to make it even richer. And then after that's done, we'll see where I'm at. Maybe I'll try and spend a few hours outside, with or without help, doesn't matter. And then the following day, I'm going to start tackling the turkey, and I am going to get my bones, put my my chicken claws. I'm going to put my chicken claws into with the turkey bones, basically, which is going to make it even more richer for collagen. And either I'm going to use some turkey for that meat, or I'm going to use chicken thighs. Either or, I'll add a little bit of poultry meat in with the bones of the turkey and the chicken claws. And then that I'm going to stew for over 24 hours to get that rich collagen for amari. And then I'm just going to see what kind of jars I've got kicking around. Because I didn't buy the jars. I'm just going to try and use what I have. Because, you know, I'm coming to the end of this. So I got this little book here. So maybe this is one I'll try and attempt to make. But I can't see it. Turkey luncheon meat. I don't know. Should have an index, right? But I can't read it. I'm sure I can find something in here. I think I did see, I bought this off of Amazon. It's so rudimentary. Yeah. So rudimentary. And then once I'm done that, then I can relax with what I wanted to do for amari. It's not fair. He doesn't need to wait another month, maybe 2. Because don't forget, I still have to get downstairs and do shit downstairs, right? So no, I'm gonna do this first. I got everything pretty much, understanding the basics. Okay, so let me see. There's got to be a turkey deli meat here. Oh, these glasses are no good. Beef. Yeah. Should be interesting. Wouldn't that be interesting if I could make turkey deli meat? That'd be good. Yeah. Because my son wants me just to give him the whole bird. And I'm not doing that. You could do sweet poultry ham. No, I'm not doing ham. Spicy poultry ham. No. Chicken or turkey. Here we go. Chicken or turkey. Savory poultry ham. What? Ingredients. 1 pound ground poultry, chicken or turkey. 1/2 pound boneless, skinless poultry breast. Well, there you go, right? That's the turkey, right? Or thigh. Okay, finely diced. I have a little dicer, I know where it is. 1/4 cup breadcrumbs for pork panko or something. 1 egg beaten. 2 cloves garlic. 1 tablespoon Worcestershire sauce. I got some of that. I have to open up a new bottle. 1 teaspoon dried thyme. I'd have to find it. 1 teaspoon dried rosemary. I have to find it. It's not too far. 1 teaspoon dried sage. I got that up there. 1/2 teaspoon smoked paprika. Got that up there, I'm sure. And then some salt, some black pepper. No nitrates, absolutely none. So maybe we'll do that. Well, why not? Try it out. And because, you know, you can freeze it after you're done. If nobody wants it. In terms of, I'll have enough to make 2. And I'll send 1 down to my son. Andre will say, here, Nana said you could have, what's that? What's that? It's turkey deli meat for sandwiches. I don't want it. Whatever. Go away, then. Okay, so are these dropping? They should drop with the hot water. Yeah, they're dropping. So that worked. So just take your thumb and gently push them down. Add in, turn up the heat again. Bring it to a boil. And then just top off where you're, yeah, see, they're already popping, right? Yeah, you can use it for organic juice. And when it gets too high here, like this one, just give it some more time. They're popping down. So, this is the way I'm doing it. I'm taking my fresh grapes off the vine, putting them in the jar, raw pack, taking the syrup, however you want, extra light syrup, in this case it's light syrup. I'm bringing the water to a boil, the syrup to a boil, and then I'm taking that boiling syrup and I'm just filling up the jars, letting that hot syrup cook those grapes so that they slip down a bit, right? As if you were hot packing. And then just top it off so you got about a 1-inch headspace, but you're going to have to let it settle. You know, let the hot water cook the grapes a bit. So all those juices within the grapes, whether they're sour or sweet, mix in with the light syrup. And then I'm going to do these for 15 minutes in a water bath. And based on what I just did, I'll have another 8 more jars, plus a little bit left over that I can put in the fridge and deal with it later. And then when the fish comes in the morning, I'm doing fish. I'm going to do the coho salmon and the sockeye salmon, and I'm going to get it ready, and I'm going to put it in pot. I'm going to get my other fish, which is frozen because of the social workers and everything. I got derailed from that, right? Couldn't do it. Go for the skin, go for the bones, and yeah. The other fish, well, if it's frozen pink, after I debone it, the way I want to debone it, assuming I could do it the way I think I might be able to do it, because I don't know how to fillet fish and all that crap, right? I'm going to just cook it up with some butter, and then I'm going to put them into little bags, and I'm going to freeze them for Amari, or maybe for Andre and I, and Amari with potatoes or something, and a little burger, so you hear the water boiling, right? And there might be just enough to fill up these jars, which would be great. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to work with that guy. I told him I don't want to beef with him though, right? But on the other hand, don't forget it. I don't got time for bullshit. I told him that. Whatever you think, you don't go to people's houses and start insulting, especially when they've been through what I've been through with my son and his wife. All right. And I was willing to give him shit too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't throw away what you think you might get out of me, but what you think. Well, I don't know. Whatever. No big deal. Oh, look at that. I don't think I'm going to have enough. But you know what? I don't think I'm going to have enough liquid. I might. Just barely. This is where I really miss my eyesight. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going to have to use my fingers. But it's not that hard just to make a little extra. 1 cup of water with a little bit of sugar. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that because these aren't quite full enough yet. See, maybe 2 cups of water because I have to do another batch anyway. So hold on. And I boiled that water too, so I'm using boiled water. So I just put 2 cups of boiled water to try and boil off whatever's going on with the water. Like it's nasty. I don't like it. It's nauseating. And a half a cup of sugar, which should be fine. Right. You can actually can grapes without sugar if you wanted to. Yeah, that's fine. Very mild. So, and then, if your headspace is a little high, so here, do you see how it's already starting to cook the grapes? So it's almost like a hot pack, but not quite. Do you see how it cooked the grape? And that was a nice sweet one. I can't see the green, but because it's cooking, the skin is getting lighter. I can tell that the skin is lighter compared to the other ones in there that aren't covered up. And you want about an inch headspace. This is where I can't see. No. Right. But you just, just take your time and it's all good. I'll thank myself in 2 hours from now. Because this part will be done. So when you're heating up your water with your sugar, you want to bring it to a boil to really dissolve that sugar, right? And then have your canner where the water is warm, not at a simmer, not at a boil, but as soon as you put your jars in, you turn it up. I'm going to heat up real fast. So this canner, like I couldn't put my hand on there if I wanted to because it's too hot. But it's not simmering and it's not boiling. It's ready to go. Right? Yeah. So I guess I'm going to be doing some canning over the next couple of days, but I'm using up my jars too, right? And if I want to have backup, I can always buy 1 or 2 cases later. But right now I've got jars here that I just kind of want to. The only other thing I'd want to do would be to get into the manufactured canned fruit and repurpose and recan to get them out of the can. And then this way, once they're in a jar, You can sit for years and years and years and years, and you're not going to get that tinny taste or the acid of the fruit eating through the can. What you might get is a little oxidization on the top of the lid, and as long as your lid doesn't rust or pop, everything will be good for a long, long, long time. Okay, so once it's boiling, just stir it around. Right? And because I already boiled the water pre-doing this, and then what's going to happen is some of these jars don't have a... Oh, here we go. Once I bring them almost up to the top, the grapes are going to drop even more, because not all of them are, you know, in the water. And this is nice and hot. Oh, I'm excited for this. This is good. And I can use this for juices, smoothies, desserts. I'm thinking dressings, like a salad dressing or sorts, or something like that. Yeah. I don't know what else I'd use it. You could just eat it right out of the, you know, in a little bowl as a side dish to your main meal. Japanese style. Okay. This is the part I can't see. So, just take your time. And then you let it sit again for another 10 minutes or so. So this hot water softens the grapes. And of course things will settle. The grapes will settle, the water will rise. And then of course you debubble. And then by that time you should be able to adjust your headspace to about an inch. I've read 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So I'm going to shoot more for approximately about 1 inch on these. Alright. If I creep up a little higher, I'm not too worried about it because the fruit itself is almost pre-cooked already, just through this process. See, that's what I like about canning in terms of when you've done it so many times, like I have over the years, you know, you start to feel pretty confident with what you're doing. And you can just, you know, jimmy it in terms of the way I'm doing it, which makes sense. It's almost at a 1 inch headspace, right? But I have to leave it. I like to use chopsticks, but something like this you could go real slow. Just you see me just going like that, right? You would also tap it to debubble, because as the grapes settle, you are going to get little pockets of air in there, and I can see that the water line is dropping.
Rena,
What?
the window.
What window? No, that's me.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm debubbling jars. Sorry. No, I'm debubbling jars right now. I'm getting ready to put these in the canner. This is the first batch. And then I got one more batch. And then I'm done with this. Except for whatever's left in the fridge tonight, which won't be very much. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. So, one fell. Eat that one. What was that noise?
What noise?
No, that was a sour one. So technically, I probably should have done a, what is that called? A medium syrup. But I figured like this. If I want more sugar, I can always add the sugar after I open the jar. They were already starting to fall, some of them, and I just, I just got them. They probably could have stayed out for a little while longer, some of them. Not all of them, but some of them. I mean, I could take another teaspoon of sugar and just pop it in it, but I'm not going to. I figure I can I figure I can add the sugar later for whatever it is that I'm trying to do. Like, for example, I could open a jar, de-seed the grapes, right? There. That's all I have left is a half a cup. So, you want everything under the water, okay? When you're canning this kind of stuff. Now the headspace is creeping up. Yeah. But I can always push down the grapes a bit. And of course, the longer it sits, the more they're going to shrivel up. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. Grind up the grape after I take out the seeds. Make some whipping cream from real whipping cream, and then blend in that pulp in with the actual whipping cream with that, because when you make whipping cream you use vanilla and sugar, right? So that adds that little extra sugar with a vanilla tinge to it with the grape pulp, whether it's sweeter or more tart. Alright, so we got just a little bit left. Yeah. The reason you want a little bit of sugar in grapes is because if you can grapes just in water, which you can do, the flavor of the grape leaches into the water so that when you eat the grape, it's kind of bland. So they say, right? Whereas if you do it this way, with a little bit of sugar, you can do extra light, you can do light, or if you wanted to, you could do medium. I almost did a medium, but I read it can make it candied. I'm not trying to candy these, because I figure I can add the sugar later, right? Extra. And if you wanted to, like I said, open a jar, de-seed them, grind them up in a little mill, make your whipping cream with the sugar and the vanilla, and you can blend them together. Or you can do a layer of whipping cream, a layer of blended up grape, so on and so on and so on. That would be good. And you could still use the seeds, take them and put them in a mortar and mix them up into a salad dressing. Why not? So now I'm going to leave these for 5 or 10 minutes, just so everything drops. And then once it's done dropping, because the water is still somewhat hot, not so much anymore, but things will settle a bit, that's when I'll work on trying to level off the headspace between all the jars. And then, of course, wipe your rim, right? Sticky little bit of vinegar on the whatever. I don't even have paper towels right now. Are there any paper towels around? Oh, God, I just need one. One sheet. There must be paper towels in there. Can you look? I don't want to go digging for paper towels. Anyway, I'll be back. And that's another thing. He was going to throw everything out. Just toss it around. And then, I gotta go. I'll be back tomorrow. And we know how that one works, right? 4 days later, he might show up. No, I don't think so. It doesn't work like that. What the hell? I lost my glasses. Here we go. Like I said, I've worked with guys like this in this yard. They come, they say one thing, they do something else, they screw you around, right? They keep you guessing. I called him an emotional vampire. I said, you're an emotional vampire. No, I'm not. I said, yes, you are. Like, what the hell? Oh. I need the money. Yeah, right. You're more interested in bossing me around. Like, I don't even know you. You come into my house and you start bossing me around? I don't think so. Telling me that you don't want to be micromanaged as you're tossing everything around? Yeah, okay. That's not what I asked you to do. I said put things into piles. If you think it's garbage, put it in a garbage, like in a pile where, you know, it's garbage. And we can bag it up, whether it's recycle or whether it's actual garbage in terms of something that got completely ruined. Right? If it looks like it's usable, but it's dirty because of the state of the porch, not, you know, but it can be washed and salvaged, then put it in that pile. I will go through it with you, and if I don't want it, you have the choice of having it for yourself if you want it. Outside of that, forget it. Forget it. It makes me think of that guy that was working on those gutters. Yeah. Okay, so I couldn't find a paper towel. And from what I can tell, the headspace is starting to look pretty good. Right? From what I can tell. Oh, God. So I just got a face cloth with vinegar on it. And that'll work just as fine. 15 minutes once it starts to boil with the lid on your canner. For those that are new to the game when it comes to this stuff, turn off your canner, don't take off your lid. Let the canner just cool down on its own for 5 or 10 minutes with the lid on. Whatever lid you're using. And then after that, just kind of remove the lid a little bit. Right? But don't take your jars out right away. Because there's a vortex going on in your jar. And if you don't want your jars to siphon out liquid, then give it another 5 more minutes or so in the canner to rest with the lid off it before you start taking your jars out, and chances are you won't have too much, if any, siphoning. That's what I've learned over the years. It's an important step. Right? Because it's the vortex that pushes the liquid out. Yeah. Well, I'm tired, but I only got another hour and a bit, and I'll be done. It'll be worth it. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them. Made me think of my dream. Where will they be safe? Yeah. So I might be making turkey deli meat. That'd be interesting. I still haven't found my other book, though. I want to find it. I don't know where it is. Okay. Get that sugar off your rim. Because it starts to crystallize, right? Okay. Looking good, from what I can tell. What do you think? Pretty good. Pretty good. Do you know how messed up this is? I have rims in bags. The rims to screw on, right? Because after you're done canning, you don't screw them back on. You take them off. And you basically store your jars like that so that if they pop, right, you'll kind of know versus having the rim on, right? And with all this shit going on with these social workers, I know I had Andre take some out, but I thought I left at least a small bag around because I knew I was going to do something at some point, especially with that fish and shit and the chicken claws. Because sometimes I need extra these, right? Because I have miscellaneous. Oh, that's so good. That's a sweet one. Some of them are more, it's sweet, but it's tart too, right? But, do you think I can find them? No. The little bag that I left for myself. Well, the other ones are kind of outside. And the rims, they rust, eh? So it's not like they can be outside for any length of time. If I put them downstairs, they get thrown out of the garage, out into the garage. But I'm going to have to put into, I think I can get 9 in here. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. It's the wide mouth. You can only get 8. But regular mouth you can get, looks like 9. Well, that's good to know. Always forget these things. So now you bring it up. So we're at the halfway mark. So this is good. Only I don't know where my rings are. Oh wait. There they are. Whew. Okay. I just use this pizza pan or whatever kind of pan on my water pressure canner because it's nice and high. I like it. It works. Alright, so once the water boils, 15 minutes later, so now what I got to do is continue clearing off this so I can take, well, those jars will come here, and then I'll probably fill up the other jars there, put them in the counter. Well, I could move this. I can probably get them all on this little itty bitty counter that I got here, which would be just better. Because once you take them out of the canner, you really don't want to move them again. You don't want to disturb them until the next day. So the seal can set. So that should, do you see? Put it on the floor. Oh no. But like I said, I kind of getting tired of canning, and I just want to get it over with. And what I want to do for Amari is so important, so I'm going to stick with the plan. I'm going to do what I wanted to do for him. The grapes, I don't know. I completely forgot about them. Wow. And then when I found them, I'm like, don't be stupid. Just take advantage of it while you got it. It will be a sad day when they rip up these houses. I can probably get 16 jars on here. I lost my lid. I made potatoes boiled, and I took out, and I can't find the lid now. Whatever. All right. We got that. The next boat, we can do actually up to 9 jars. I don't know, I washed whatever I had there. So if I got 9 jars, I can put 9 jars in there. I might have 9 jars. So, and hopefully that will be just what I need for the leftover grapes. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, so there we go. 9 and 8. What is that? 17 jars, right? Plus, if I would have done another jar with the 8, it would have had 18, but that's okay. There's that left.